I have a question to all my ladies here in this room. Do you guys remember the first compliment you got as a young girl? I can bet with everyone, my favorite bag, that it was beautiful. Actually, it could also have been princess, because I don't know if you ever noticed, but girls are never called courageous in the first place. Smart always comes after pretty. And in order to keep to that prettiness, as soon as we enter the adult world, we quickly realize that's going to be a long and endless way, from makeup to hair, workouts, not to mention the procedures. But don't we all grow old in the end of the day? So how stupid and cruel it is to allow people to lean our self-esteem on something as ephemeral as beauty. As my girl crush Hopi Call once said, it's not because I don't think you were pretty, but because I think you were so much more than that. As good princesses, we're just taught that we have to wait quietly and calmly, like fragile girls, for the prince to come and rescue us from whatever danger we got into. And that could take not only days, but ages. So we better braid our hair and bite that apple, because the wait's probably going to be very long. If we stop to think that that's the story we've been telling our girls for such a long time, don't we all agree it's time to remind them they can also be heroines? Because patterns, they were created and they are maintained because this way it's easier to keep control of people. So don't resign. Get out of the drawer you were placed in, because life already gives us so many limits for us to go and create new ones. And worse than that, believe in them. So now, I'm going to tell you a story about fake limits, and this is a personal one, so pay attention, please. I am 31 years old, and I was in a relationship for 12 years. So if you do the math, I started dating at 16, got married to my first boyfriend at 24, and got divorced at 28. And despite all the social judgment that I felt at that time, I never for a moment felt that I had failed in the mission marriage/love, because what I had were just wonderful years with an amazing man that helped me be the person that I am today, which I'm very proud, by the way. It was just a cycle that ended. But I was very surprised. It was such a curious phenomenon to realize that everyone, like men and women, in my family, could bet everything they had that the reason my marriage didn't work out was because of my dedication to my career. I would hear a lot like, how can she keep her husband and her marriage if she works and travels so much? And I would be like, have I ever heard this sentence said about a man? No. If you close your eyes and you try to imagine, how can he keep his wife if he travels so much? It doesn't even feel right. And then, boom. After a year of singleness, I had a new boyfriend. Well, what a crazy roller coaster relationship, such a passionate relationship, ups and downs, so good and so bad. And we just broke up. It didn't work out because of a big lack of trust. Well, it happens. Breakups are never really easy, as Adele once taught us. But this guy, he made it a lot easier for me, because he made me feel all the time that all he wanted was a woman to be waiting for him at home. From this same guy, I also heard, after telling him that having kids was actually in my plans, I also heard from him that, open quotes, that would never be possible because you have such a crazy life. How would you take care of your babies? I could only roll my eyes like, okay, not having babies with you, Fred Flintstone, that's for sure. Because I don't understand why you think my success is not a bonus, because it is a bonus. So, breaking news again for all the ladies here. Whoever tells you you have to choose between your personal life and your career should really shut up. Right? But, Camila, don't you think that smart girls, they intimidate women? Smart women intimidate men. Well, so let me see if I got your point. We're supposed to trim our smartness to fit in a box built by someone else because they feel they can't keep up. Well, not an option for me. But before you come and tell me that I'm a man hater, let me clear something up. I'm a man lover. I love men. I love the magic combination between a man and a woman. It's just like, be them friends, be them lovers, be them family. We need you guys. So, here's an insider tip to all the men in the room. It is not about competing with women. It's about connecting with them. Because you gotta get used that you're gonna share not only space, but also power with us, and it's really a no way back thing. So instead of resisting, please embrace it in the best way. Because when a man chooses to share his life with a powerful woman, it really means he can deliver the goods. Respect and equality should be something natural. And as I said, you should see your wife as your partner, not as your competitor. But girls, we also have some homework to do here, so what about having some more empathy and really start supporting and not judging them much? Your girls, your ladies, do that, not only on IG posts and t-shirts, do that for real, because sorority has such a strong power that gives me goosebumps to think as this as a reality. What about us, men and women? We raise our girls to choose not to depend on anyone. And if we're gonna teach our girls to be more brave, what about we let our boys know it's okay to be sensitive? Those old boxes, they don't fit us anymore, they got too small. It's time that we rethink those roles in a more critical way together. Because everyone deserves to feel whole, and we should expand the concept of masculinity to the boys of our lives. Let them reconnect the heart to the head. Let them pick their own features and be less constrained to what a man should be. Because they should impose respect as a person, not as a man. It is not about transforming men and women and vice versa. It's just about letting them be what they naturally are, and this way turn into better versions of themselves, because in the end, we are all just humans, too complex, too individual to be summed up in two parts with press schedule holes. And if we have one thing in common, that's dreams. And dreams, what about them? I recall something very special that happened to me when I was young, when I began to chase mine. And I was very lucky to have this inside of my family coming, especially from my dad. They all thought my aims and goals were very far-fetched by then, but they never, ever made me feel like a crazy girl. Everything was possible in that family. And that's why I remember so well that Sunday lunch that happened 13 years ago when I told my dad that my blog called Stupid Girls, in case you didn't know yet. Google it. I told him that my blog had just reached 1,000 visitors. And I was just telling him that as a fun fact, because at that time, it was just a little hobby. But he paid so much attention, and he was so excited about it. He was like, Camila, this is very special. You should go there, buy that domain, hire someone to do your layout, just go for it. And I was like, yeah, I'll go for it. And I did. And as I'm here speaking with you guys, I cannot stop wondering what would have happened if he had just said, okay, cool, and turning his attention back to his beer. I wouldn't be here at TEDxPaloAltoCollege sending you guys this message. So, that might seem like a small thing, but when you're young and ready to chase your dreams, to have your family support is essential. When your family supports you, it doesn't cut your wings, oh my God, it makes all the difference. Because along your way to independence, you were gonna go through so many people that cling to old ways and old paths. And that may even be a privileged choice, but this doesn't make them bad people. It just makes them see them as people that are too cozy, haven't seen their comfort zones, tasting the bittersweet taste of fearing change. As a strong woman, I don't want a man that follows my life, that follows my way, me around. I don't want that. I want someone that is not only strong, but who sees me as a strong woman. Someone who doesn't compete with me, doesn't feel that he has to tame me in order to feel more masculine. I look for someone that not only respects my goals, but who also is with me along the way, helping me achieve them, just as I will be. That's what I call a real relationship, right? And for success, I think it's something that can have many, many definitions and that you may create your own. Independence is something that doesn't have all to do with working money. Independence is feeling that you can do whatever you want without caring so much about what other people think. That's how you do different things, exciting things, having the courage to go and do it before anyone. And independence shouldn't be only a woman's desire. Independence is for everyone in here. So, take control, think, feel, act as you wish, and feel the power you conquer once you dare to be independent. Thank you.